It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
Welcome to the show. Stay with us as we get into the latest on this conflict in Iran and try to see if there's any end in sight. Got a lot of people are afraid that it doesn't look like there's one that's coming soon. So we'll check into that. I also want to see what some people are calling a triple threat megastorm. It sounds scary. It's sweeping the nation right now. And maybe we can line up an interview with this megastorm and see what the hell its problem is. That's the plan. But that, and of course, like always, wherever else the chats and our unfiltered minds take us. So let's get into it. But I first want to wish everyone a happy Gary Plauché Day. He is a local hero over here in Louisiana. And let's check out his highlight reel. I can't show the actual, but you get the point. I love it. Son of a bitch, you can hear. There's the hero. Let's watch it again. This sick bastard. Is there anything more justified,
Gary, why?
Gary, why? Why? Man, it's a beautiful sight. It's he of course got off on that, sort of. I know he had to I think he had to plea bargain to a no contest of manslaughter. And I think he was sentenced to like 7 years of a suspended sentence for that, 5 years probation, and a bunch of community service, from what I understand. But he didn't spend no time in prison for it. So I think that was a just outcome. I mean, I don't think he should have gotten anything, really.
Yep.
But
and it makes you wonder if that happened today, if the situation would be different. I would have to say so. It would be.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that this was back in '84. Things were a lot different. I think now the judge may be lenient, but I think they would have had to get him with more than just manslaughter with some community service.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every parent in the world cheers it on. It's
sure.
But I think they I guess got to set some kind of line on just vigilante. It's everybody just running around taking out people who are accused of doing something to someone they love, which in this case, there was no question that the guy did it. But
yeah, it was cut and dry. Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. But I actually spoke to Jody, which if anybody checking it out right now, he was the victim in this case. And I was trying to get him on tonight because it was the anniversary of when that happened, when he just shot that dude for touching him. Well, he had to work tonight, but he's going to try to get on another night this week. I was thinking, damn, it would have been perfect to have him on here, to be an anniversary of the day that his daddy took out his damn, kidnapper and rapist. That would have been amazing.
That would have been cool.
I know. But anyway, what in the hell? It is March. Why are we having fucking blizzards and, and tornadoes? And what is going on here?
I don't understand the cold part, but the severe weather is kind of right on. It's right on cue. It's a little bit more active than a typical March, but we're it's tornado season. But this cold shit, I don't know where this came from.
That's crazy, man. They say it's
government simulated, dude. It's all made.
I think that's what it is, brother. I think the government's causing this, man. But there's tons of just power outages and a lot of travel chaos going on because a lot of the airliners are shut down or the airports, and they're already having delays in it because of the, just the TSA shit, government shutdown effects from, back when they were, I think it's still partially, some of it's still partially shut down, at least giving TSA trouble from what I understand. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, that shit was, they talk 1 to 3 feet of fucking snow in Minnesota, which I guess they see that over there, but it's just coming through hard. Everybody's kind of panicking with the cold, like Justin said, the cold part of it. It's crazy, man. And
I know.
I mean, that shit blew through here last night, and I mean, it was fast and furious, boy.
Yeah, it was.
Isn't that crazy? It was what, 82, 83 yesterday, and it was like highs today were like 54, something like that, with lows
What's up,
28.
Matt?
You know,
See Matt
and that's cold
comments.
for here. You know. Yeah.
Well, it was, and I was listening to it. I was up, and you could just hear the shit. Just, I mean, wind blowing and lightning, fucking just every second. It was crazy, man. But anyway, so it's moving east. They talking about a severe line crossing through Mississippi, Tennessee, the Ohio valleys with damaging winds, tornado warming. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy right now.
Yeah, it was kind of a bust today, honestly.
Was it?
There were a lot of storm chasers out there, and it didn't do anything near what they expected. I mean, I'm looking at reported gusts of 45 miles an hour in Virginia Beach, 30-mile-an-hour winds. So it's not terrible, but
where's this triple threat megastorm I keep hearing about?
It passed through. I mean, that was kind of it. Like, its strongest point was a little northwest of us, and it kind of weakened as it went to the East Coast, but it was pretty strong up north. They were getting a bunch of winds and had some bow echoes forming and stuff, but it wasn't anything like that. What was it, last Sunday?
Was that when the
was that? I think the tornadoes came through. Not here, but a little north of us.
Up in Illinois, didn't they have some?
They had some there. They had some in Oklahoma. They had a few tornadoes last weekend.
Yeah, because I know them. Your boy that runs the Louisiana Cajun Navy was up in Illinois doing a lot of work on the grounds over there after that. Them hurricanes came through and kind of demolished some homes and shit. And speaking of that, he's supposed to be on here Wednesday night. Yeah, we're gonna see what's going on with what he's doing. Just kind of get a little history behind that whole Louisiana Cajun Navy thing, which seems like an awesome organization, man. Just get out there.
It'd be a good interview, man.
Anytime there's a catastrophe, them boys are around. Just a bunch of volunteers, so it's shines a positive light on the state for sure. But I think he's supposed to be on here Wednesday. He was gonna come tonight, but he's a little caught up loading up trucks and shit with supplies and all, so he couldn't make it. But anyway, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, the news, the media was painting it like this is it. This is we're all done. This is triple threat megastorm coming through, and turns out it's just fucking cold and windy.
Yeah. Last weekend was actually a little worse, honestly. For us, I'm looking at the damage assessment toolkit from the NOAA, so you can look at all the tornado damage, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tornado tracks just northwest of us, between us and the Mississippi line.
Yeah, I think Hammond caught one, dude, Ponchatoula, up in that area,
Yeah, kind of by Ponchatoula. There were a few out in the middle of nowhere: Franklinton, Kentwood, Greensburg, Roseland.
That is nowhere, unless it's your house.
Of course.
Everything's in the middle of nowhere, unless it's your house getting fucking flattened.
The strongest tornado, they're putting it at about 200-yard width, 95-mile-an-hour wind, so not terrible.
Yeah, weak. What's them ones like in Tornado Alley? Them motherfuckers will be a mile wide.
Oh, yeah.
If not more. That's crazy, man, when you watch that. Just to see them from a distance when you watch them on film, and just how, they look like they're just peaceful little funnels just moving across the land, It's so misleading.
Them huge tornadoes do, and even the debris that's flying around in them, like it'll be a whole like sheets of plywood and 2x6s and shit flying through the air, but they look like little popsicle sticks and pieces of paper, like they're just floating through the air,
they're just floating. Yeah.
But right inside that wall is 260-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, the power's amazing, man.
It is.
It really is
awesome to watch, but
and a lot of them, honestly, a lot of them strong tornadoes have been coming through North Mississippi, North Alabama, in the last few years. I mean, Oklahoma and North Texas still get theirs. Kansas, Missouri, but a lot of it has shifted east for them big tornadoes.
Is that
We actually
global
just had
warming?
our first. I think so. I think that's what they call it.
Climate change. Yeah.
Climate change. Let's get it right on here.
We just had the first EF5 in, I think it was 13 years. Just happened. So.
Ooh, Jason Clark. Wasn't we just see the comment from Jason Clark? Wasn't we just talking about that before we got on?
We were just talking about that.
So what's going on over there? What are they trying to do in Virginia?
Go ahead, Justin.
Let's get the exact laws.
Yeah, find out. Let's see what they're trying to do. Because if I'm not mistaken, Brad, you were telling us they had a guy that was standing out there giving away AR-15 magazines to people.
Because of the ban on the magazines that are coming down,
Yeah, I think it's a ban on.
I think they're trying to do a statewide ban on the AR, aren't they?
Assault weapons.
Or is it just the magazines?
No.
An assault weapons ban was introduced in January. Just give me a list, bitch.
Oh, boy.
I know they were upping taxes on ammo.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So assault weapons and high capacity magazines. I've got the list finally.
All right.
So that was the HB 217.
And this is what the state's trying to get accomplished over there.
Correct.
In Virginia. All right. So what all are they trying to do?
So, no, it's a done deal. It takes effect in
July
1st. Yes, it passed. It takes effect July 1st of 26. So
yes, it does.
What all did they do?
All right. Prohibit the import, sale, manufacture, purchase, or transfer of assault firearms and magazines holding more than 15 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Violations is a Class 1 misdemeanor. Let's see. I know there was something with the grandfathering in where they wanted to allow firearms to be grandfathered in, and then they were going to take that out of the bill to where they weren't grandfathered in, and but they also have ghost gun restrictions, safe storage requirements. They want to introduce.
Well, it looks like they had just a total what they call assault firearms and high capacity magazine ban. It prohibits the importation of a sale, manufacture, and purchase or transfer of defined, quote, assault firearms. That's such just a broad term because
absolutely
they can throw anything under that. It's such a goofy fucking term. You can assault someone with every firearm. So where does it stop? Because they're talking semi-automatic rifles, pistols, shotguns with features like detachable magazines, pistol grips, threaded barrels, folding stocks, etc. It doesn't stop. The list doesn't stop. And large capacity ammunition feeding devices, generally more than 15 rounds, though definitions vary slightly by bill text. So there you go. It just depends. They could all of a sudden say, well, no, we think 5 rounds is considered large. Right. All this is so vague. It's just just stomping on the Constitution. That's all. They're pissing all over it right now, and it's crazy to just watch this shit, happen. And it passed probably easily over there. I'm trying to see what else violations. Like Justin said, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 3-year firearm possession. Let's see, exemptions, antique, inoperable firearms, blah, blah, blah. Bars those under 21 from possessing such firearms without exceptions. This would make Virginia one of about 11 to 12 states with similar bans. It does not ban possession of existing ones. They can no longer sell new ones. Yeah, not yet. Exactly. Right. Wow. So then they got the firearm industry accountability, liability, establishes standards of responsible conduct for manufacturers, dealers, preventing straw purchases, theft prevention, no promotion of unlawful use, allows civil actions by the attorney general, localities, and injured parties for violations. Wow, that's gonna get bad in court. Anytime,
absolutely.
Anytime someone's hurt, killed, or whatever with a firearm, it's gonna get ugly in these courts now.
Yeah. Mostly if they can go back and start suing, where you bought the gun from, and then even go to, Winchester, Colt, Browning, all these other manufacturers out there. Oh my God, yeah. God, get what you vote for, people.
Safe storage requirements mandate secure storage of firearms in homes with minors, which I mean, you should be doing that anyway. You
don't need the government to come down on you and tell you got to do that. Anybody with a decent brain.
No, because they're not going to be in your house making you do it. But what's going to happen is if a kid gets a hold of one and shoots himself on accident or something like that,
absolutely,
they're coming at your ass now. Which,
yep.
I mean, I kind of, I don't want to say agree with that, but you
understand it.
Yes, I understand why that would be brought up. Just because, you should not leave a loaded fucking firearm just sitting around your house for a child to grab, and it happens all the time. All the time. These kids bring them to school and shit. There'll be a second grader with a pistol in his book bag that he saw sitting on his uncle's nightstand that lives with him, or some shit like that. So what else they got? Domestic violence and intimate partner protections, strengthens firearm removal, relinquishment for those convicted of domestic violence. And I can get that. I mean, if you're convicted of it,
but that's already
domestic
a thing.
Violence shit.
Is it already? Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can't have firearms if you've been convicted of a misdemeanor domestic violence.
Well, I wonder because they said it was an expansion, I wonder if you're under protective orders, you also have to relinquish them. You know what I mean? Like if somebody has a restraining order against you, which is pretty shitty. I believe
that makes you a prohibited possessor. Maybe not. I believe the restraining order does, but I really could be wrong.
Carries, let's see, restrictions in public government buildings, expands bans on carrying firearms in state-owned, leased buildings, public properties, campuses, etc. If it's state-owned, includes vehicle storage rules. Yeah, I don't know. The one that really stands out is just this quote-unquote assault firearms.
Exactly.
It's such a long list, and the list is just never going to end. They might as well just say you can't own a firearm.
It's probably coming.
Damn.
That's where they're going at. And then they, like I said, they up the taxes on ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, anything to keep them away from you, I guess.
Well, wasn't that what they did they did that in California too? Yeah, they ended like 11% or some shit tax on ammo right now in Cali. Yep. What is it in Virginia?
It's that low.
I know. Yeah, you're right. I figured it'd be 100%. What's the tax on? I want to see what it is 11% compared to Cali. So they went with California, but that's what they sound like they're turning into.
I know, quick too,
baby Cali. Yeah.
But for a woman that ran as a moderate, for a woman, Abigail ran as a moderate, and she gets elected, and then here's what she pulls out. All these liberal crap. Yeah. I mean, dude, they got 4% on deliveries, dude. Amazon, Uber Eats, all of that. There's an extra 4% charge going into effect too, man. It's crazy, dude.
Well, the thing is, the people that because this bill here, it cleared both the House and the Senate and made its way to the governor's desk, which means the people that they're over there voting for let this happen. So, like they say, elections have consequences. So maybe the people of Virginia don't mind this because if they voted for these people, maybe that's what they want, and so be it. I mean, if that's the state you want to live in, that what gets scary is when you start having certain administrations in the White House that want to push this shit, because then it becomes a federal law, and it's leave it to the states. I mean, if you want to live in a state where guns aren't allowed or whatever, hey, so be it. Have fun. I think
Shane,
that should be your
it's
right.
Shane, it's like we always talk about too, man. I'm reading a comment here from Jason Clark. I've lived there my whole life, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're outnumbered by 4 big cities in Virginia. So it's the same thing as Illinois. You see what I'm saying? You got Chicago, and you got New York, and you got New York. It's really sad because I'm sure that state would probably be majority conservative if I had to guess. And you get these big cities, and there's nothing you can do about it, dude, at all.
No, it's like go ahead, Justin.
Like you were saying, leave it to the states, but I don't think we should leave it to the states to violate our rights.
No, but if
crazy.
you vote for people, if you vote people in that would even consider that, then you get what you deserve. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Keep these keep these people out of there. These ones that you know are anti-gun. They weren't hiding it. I mean, she's been, you know, there's proof that she's always been on that gun safety advocate type shit. You know what I mean? So you know who you're voting for. That's my only, you know, gripe with that is that you know who you're putting in office. You know these politicians in your local areas that are getting voted for. Now, not everyone agrees with it, but apparently the majority did because these people are running.
Yeah.
It just sucks for people like, you know, your boy Jason in the comments there that has to live under these laws now when he didn't like this. And it sounds simple to say, well, just move, but you know, it's not that easy for everybody. So I have a little sympathy when it comes to that. But, you know, at the same time, man, it's just makes you want to push even harder to try to get the fuck out of those areas if you can. Cause I mean, it's going nowhere good if they're passing laws like that. I mean, it'll be Cali before you know it. It's crazy.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Crazy. Yeah.
What he's saying, register to vote. Yeah, especially in your little local elections, you know. I think that's the ones that matter more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are more important, man. You know.
Yeah.
Find who you got in your local house, you know.
Well, yeah, because a lot of things are still up to the states, you know, the states' rights. So that's about all the control you have as a citizen right now is to at least try to elect the proper local officials. Because this shit, this federal shit is on such a bigger scale than any of us probably realize. I don't know if we have a single ounce of control over any of that, you know. So you're better off just really concentrating on who's there locally, and try to keep those fucking snakes from you know slithering into your local areas because it happens, man. Before you know it, a lot of people don't pay enough attention to that because they're too caught up on the big show, which is the president, you know, and what's going on in Washington, and they forget. There's little local elections going on in your area all the time. So you got to stay on top of that shit, man, because them snakes will get in there if you let them. It starts in your fucking school boards, you know, works its way up to your little
local
city
mayors,
council member.
local
sheriffs,
sheriffs,
all of that.
dude.
Yes, exactly.
Local
before you know
governor,
it, the chief
man,
of police is a fucking liberal. And, it happens. It happens, man. So, anyway.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yep. What else they got going on, man? The little Iran conflict over there, or some would call it a war, I guess, but you know it's ongoing still and into its third week. You know, what started as a surprise airstrike on February 28th. Of course, they were targeting those Iranian military sites and nuclear facilities, and it turned into, you know, as we all know, an assassination of the supreme leader over there. Has escalated, it looks like, into a full-scale conflict, or like I said, some say war. It's reshaping energy markets, man. It's testing alliances and claiming lives on all sides.
Yep.
So let's see if we can kind of bring up speed, you know, the latest developments on that shit. I know the core flashpoint, so to say, remains that Strait of Hormuz, you know, the narrow waterway through which about 20% of the world's oil flows. I mean, Iran has effectively paralyzed shipping there with threats and drone attacks and disruptions. That's despite relentless U.S. and Israeli strikes aimed at breaking that stranglehold. But, I mean, we saw these oil prices are you know, stubbornly above $100 a barrel. So, I mean, I don't know if y'all know. They say the average is about $3.69 a gallon right now, which is up over 70 cents in recent weeks, which – kind of knew that was going to happen for a second, you know?
Yes.
But, you know, people kind of go in panic mode, which it's weird because as soon as these conflicts start, that's it. Oil just shoots up before anything even happens. All they had to do was talk about Iran and the fucking oil prices went up and gas prices went up. And I'm thinking, I know that shit didn't take effect that quick. I mean, come on now. But them gas stations couldn't wait, you know?
It's all about futures, man, you know, when they look at that kind of crap, you know, and what they'll be paying in the near future, and it is what it is. But yeah, I think it topped 100 today. I think it closed about 95 or something. So there's no telling where it's going to go. There really isn't, you know. You might see $200 oil, you know, before it's all over with, you know.
Well, I know Trump was out there. He just repeatedly called on allies, including, you know, these NATO partners and China and others to send warships and help secure that strait. He's looking at it like it's a test of loyalty and a way to, I guess, share the burden. So he's
it really is. It really is, Shane, because when you look at China, for instance, China probably gets 60% of their oil is coming through there, through Iran or other countries. Even the UK, man, the UK and France and all those other countries over there, they're probably 25% of their oil is coming from there. And even us, I think we get probably 10% of our oil from there. So it's definitely an important strait that needs to be opened, and, so commerce. And I think it's more than oil, too. I mean, you got to get goods and services, not just oil, through there. And, yeah, I think it is a test of loyalty that, because I think he called on France or he called on the UK, and they're like, nah, we're okay. Yeah, we're good. Take care of it. Y'all pick up the tab, do it all. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know he warned the allies that, the ones that rely on America's defense, that this will be remembered if they don't help. So he's
absolutely
already throwing them threats out there that you better get involved or else, I mean, it's, I don't know, man. I know he ran, as we said a couple podcasts ago, he ran on the ending these forever wars. And I don't think that this is what this is going to turn into. At least I hope it's not. But, I mean, Iran isn't backing down, by no means. And I want to say there were some news that was going around that they were trying to negotiate or something. And Iran came out and said, that's no way, shape, or form is that true. Basically, fuck the U.S. We're not stopping until they do. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, it's, according to Trump, the military destroyed a lot of Iran's, I guess their nuclear program that he said they had going, and just different kind of what they call mine laying ships. They took out more than 30 of those. They hit drone factories, industrial zones tied to defense production. So according to him, he pretty much crippled them when it come to that. But Iran's leadership is pushing back hard. I mean, the foreign minister has flatly, like I said, denied any type of ceasefire request, insisting the war is illegal, and vowed to defend as far as necessary until the U.S. and Israel admit that no victory is possible and stop the damn attack. So I don't know, man. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon, but man, I guess we could end it overnight if we wanted to. If we were that callous,
Yeah. Be a lot of collateral damage.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Anyway. So that's what's going on, man. Prolonged instability as far as the results of this, soaring energy costs that could drag into the summer. And it's basically going to test whether a U.S.-led coalition can force the strait open without a wider regional explosion. So we're going to see. We are going to see.
Yeah, that's for damn sure, man. I didn't think it would take, a lot of times I think when I can't think for them, the government here or Israel, but I think they go in and they think, well, we can get this done pretty quick. Man, you're dealing with a country of 90 million people. Who knows what they have, where they have it, and the munitions that they have. It's just, I kind of figured this was going to be a long endeavor, but I just worry about boots hitting the ground, because that'll just be like another desert storm kind of shit, so.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. You're right. As long as we can end this shit and keep our guys from having to go over there, any more that already have, because, I mean, we've already lost a few, and it'd be best if we could, keep that to a minimum, of course. But boots on the ground is the worst thing you need to hear, and I don't think it's going to get to that. I really don't. I have confidence.
I hope not. I don't think so, but I hope not.
Yeah, I got confidence that we'll. They'll be able to pull it off. They just, I think,
in the same breath, we're sitting here talking about Iran, and right here in our backyard, 90 miles off our Florida coastline, I mean, you see what's happening in Cuba. I mean, they are just crumbling, dude, I mean, they're out, no power, out of oil, out of food, out of water, and the people are now starting to uprise, So like I guess that'll be next on the list. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's funny because a couple of weeks ago, Trump, he called it. I mean, now, it's not like he doesn't have insight that we don't, but he said that he had a feeling Cuba was going to be the next to fall, and basically from within.
Yeah, and that was you can almost predict that because Cuba was so heavily dependent upon Venezuela for oil, probably food, and whatever else that they needed. They were getting from Venezuela. So it was almost predictable when he dropped Venezuela, you know. And
Yeah.
but yeah, look, I'm not into the communist regimes. It's not a good place. You can tell by the cars they drive from the 1950s, you know. So yeah, it's just something. But hopefully the right people will step up and control the country, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what they got to do over there, you know, to
Yeah.
get that place, I guess, back on track. I mean, it's been corrupt for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been decades and you know, generations that have, you know, it's fled that place trying to get away from that fucking regime when Castro was running it, and doesn't seem like it's any better today. But I don't what is going on though? What's up with the power being all fucked up over there?
Shortage of oil. They're probably using oil or natural gas to run power plants, and you know, I think they burn 26,000 barrels a day it takes to run Cuba. 27,000 barrels of oil a day to run Cuba. So yeah, I think they're out of it. I guess they can't function no more, you know.
Damn. Well, let's see.
They just need to take it over, turn it into a tourist attraction, gambling mecca, and like it was for the mafia back in the 50s, you know. So
yeah,
they say it's a beautiful place. I've never been, but yeah, they say it's a beautiful country, you know.
well,
Just the architecture and all.
We could start a mafia. Be the BS and mafia, dude.
BS.
We'll go start casinos in Cuba.
I'm in, dude.
I'm down. Yeah, so they like you said, a fuel shortage is triggering them blackouts. But yeah, when I read that earlier, I'm like, the whole fucking place is just out of power. Like, the fuck? Yeah. That's gotta suck. You talk about the chaos that's got to be going on right now.
Who can't, Matt? I can do what I want, sir. Ben, appreciate the super chat, buddy. Does anybody have a discount link for Ben?
No, not yet. I'm waiting on the company to send me one. I just tried their product. It worked great. I'm hard as a rock right now. So,
yep, we'll DM you as soon as we get a link.
Oh, people are nuts. But what else is going on in this crazy ass world, Justin?
Oh man. Did you see that? What was he? I think he was 12. Yeah, 12-year-old autistic boy that just got sentenced to 13 years.
For what?
So, let me see. I got his name pulled up on one of these here tabs. So he was in a classroom. His name is Abel. All right. So he was in his school classroom and he was in like the special ed class. And apparently he was having some sort of outburst. And he wound up physically assaulting another student. They didn't say really how bad that got. But the teacher cleared the class out, so it was just him in the class. They called the assistant principal. The assistant principal comes down, and he starts throwing chairs and books and shit at the assistant principal. So she's holding a chair, blocking all this shit from hitting herself and the teacher. And eventually it escalates, and he throws a clothes hanger that hits the assistant principal in the eye, knocks her eyeball out, and basically she's looking at permanent blindness now. Now, some people are upset because the argument, I guess, for them is basically the clothes hanger shouldn't have been in the room to where any of the kids had access to it. And basically they weren't giving this kid the attention or the services that he needed to act right. So basically he didn't need to be sentenced to any prison time because it wasn't his fault on account of the autism and school not doing their job.
So what did they sentence him to, you said?
13 years.
13 years? For throwing a hanger?
throwing a hanger and blinding the assistant principal.
Well, god damn. I mean,
where was this at?
I don't know. Nobody has said. The mom was kind of posting the story on her TikTok, but she hasn't said exactly where they lived.
Well, yeah, probably not. Just to, for one, it's a 13-year-old child, so there's not going to be too many details. But I mean, I know that's it sucks if it's your eye, but boy, that seems like a lot of time. I don't know. It's weird, especially for a 13-year-old. They usually be a little more lenient on them.
12-year-old.
12-year-old. Sorry. Damn, that's crazy. Well, let's see.
Damn, no good.
No. Like you said, I guess if it was my eye, I'd think different. Like,
yeah,
that motherfucker life.
Yeah, well, basically, there are a lot of the people that are against it are kind of giving him a pass because of the autism, and then the other side's like, basically, no. Like, if your kid gets to the point of having temper tantrums and throwing chairs and objects and dangerous shit at teachers and students, then you need to do something other than just public school with them.
Right. Well, that was that. Remember that one that beat the shit out of that because she took like his Game Boy or some shit away, and he come running down the hall. He looked like he was about 6'7" and just destroyed this fucking lady. I don't know what eventually, what kind of trouble he got into, but I don't think it was in 13 fucking years, which that looks like what he should have got because he tried to kill that woman. And it's like, I don't know. You got to know these kids. Some of these kids may have that in them. I'm surprised there's not more, protocols or just, I don't know what you do. I mean, you can't keep them in a fucking cage, so I don't know what else to do, but.
Well, that's what the mom's argument is that there was an individual, whatever they call it. I guess it's like an IEP or some shit, the individual education plan, I think.
Right.
For him specifically, that involved basically everybody leaving him the fuck alone when he had an outburst, and that didn't happen. So she's blaming the school for not backing away and
so
basically just locking the classroom.
Right. Yeah. What do you do with a kid like that? Like if that is his thing, I mean, if he can't help it, like if he's really got a mental issue and he's autistic and he's having these outbursts and whether he's throwing shit around or not, I mean, you just
fucking
kind of let it.
What?
So now to give the teachers a taser?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't know what you do though, because for one, it's a child, so you can only do so much. I mean, you go in there and restrain them, and the child gets hurt. Now you're in trouble. Or you risk having a fucking hanger thrown at your eye, and now you've got one eye. I don't know what you do with them kids, man, that just go off the rails like that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe keep them out of public school for a start. That would. Because it's like they talk about it how it's not only putting the teachers in danger, you're putting other kids in danger, which is
of course.
That's it. The teachers are one thing. It's like, don't sign up to be a special ed teacher.
Right.
You may have to deal with some crazy shit. But the other kids in the classroom, now imagine this was your daughter comes home with a missing eye because somebody threw a coat hanger at her because she didn't get out the classroom fast enough.
Y'all there?
Yep. Yeah, we're there.
All right. We lost Justin. We lost me. Lost the camera.
Lost you. Yeah.
Yep. Well, y'all handle it for a second.
Yep. But you know what I mean? Like, you'd be pissed the fuck off if you get a call because your daughter's in the nurse station or at the hospital because a coat hanger hit her in the face, and you'd be like, what the fuck was this kid doing here?
Exactly.
Oh, we didn't usher her out to class fast enough when Mike started throwing a fucking fit.
It's very true, man. It's, I mean, what would they say? Do no more hangers in the classroom? Bolt all the desks and the chairs down to the ground? No, there's got to be
just
some
give them an ankle shackle and chain them to the ground so they can't get very far, dude.
It's true, and it's sad, dude. Because look, man, I think we talked about that. Maybe Saturday or something, man, when I saw y'all off air, and it was like, teachers do not get paid enough to deal with the bull crap that they deal with on a daily basis. It's so true,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just sad, dude. And evidently this kid just needs help, so I don't know what his home life was or what it was, but yeah, it's just it's sad. It's sad. I mean, 13 years, I don't know, man. It's a little excessive, but like I said, I have both my eyes, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, if you lost a fucking eye, you may think a little different, which is kind of where some of the backlash was coming from. They're saying that a lot of the sentencing came from basically quote unquote retribution and, trying to make the victim feel like there was enough justice, and people are like, that's not what the juvenile court system is for. It's supposed to be more towards rehabilitation until you hit that, 18 years old and you really do some fucked up shit. Then it's like, look, sorry about your bad luck. But so I don't know, but that's the sentence. So I don't know. It may go to appeals court. We'll see.
I'm sure it will. Yeah.
This
I'm sure
they'll
appeal it. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was arguing with somebody earlier about this HR 22 SAVE Act, right? So this is what was posted to Facebook, right? So this is some liberal posted this. First question is, I'm married and I have a real ID driver's license. Will this be accepted as proof of U.S. citizenship? And the answer is apparently no. With the exception of 5 states, your real ID will not be accepted as proof of citizenship when registering to vote. So looking at the text of HR 22, in section 2, says documentary proof of United States citizenship as used in this act means with respect to an applicant for voter registration, any of the following. Number 1, a form of identification you issued consistent with the requirements of the Real ID Act of 2005.
Right.
So to me, that sounds like a Real ID would be considered.
Would be okay.
Yes. Right? Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought so. Like. So that's 1. Will my birth certificate provide proof even though it shows my maiden name? Answer was apparently no. Proof of citizenship cannot be verified by your birth certificate if the name does not match. Which I give a little bit of leeway. So this is somebody I'm friends with on Facebook, liberal.
So I'm wondering, like, who answers the question, though? Is it somebody who is a liberal?
Yeah, a liberal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I give a little bit of leeway on number 2 because in the bill, it doesn't specifically state whether maiden names or marital names on birth certificates are going to matter. It just says that you would need a certified birth certificate issued by a state, a unit of local government in a state or a tribal government, which yada, 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 includes the full name, date of birth, and place of birth of the applicant. So it doesn't really say whether that name needs to be their birth name, their marital name. If, it doesn't really explain it. So again, I think just saying no is a bit of a stretch. It's kind of a lie.
Sure,
but
it is.
Well, could this lead to less women voting?
That's what the Democrats want you to think.
We could only hope, maybe.
We're getting there.
Bigot, misogynist. No,
we can only hope, man. No, I know. Chucky Schumer said he will not vote for this shit. They are not.
It ain't gonna happen.
They don't want that SAVE Act, man, because it's detrimental to them winning future elections that they allow people to vote that don't have fucking IDs. You can see right through it.
All gonna be the illegal immigrants, because the more that I read the bill, the more it's structured in a way that even if you don't have the top 5 required identifications, there's ways that the state can get you registered to vote.
Right.
Now, the last question on this particular screenshot, they answered it by completely running around the question, but it says, I'm already registered to vote. Am I guaranteed that I won't have to re-register? Answer says no. As the bill currently stands, there's no requirement to notify you if your name is removed from an existing registration database. How is that an answer to that question?
It's not.
At all.
No. That's what I mean. Whoever made this little chart, you could just tell they're just trying to go along with the narrative that's being pushed and then push it to their ignorant followers on Facebook or wherever you got this from.
It was Facebook.
It's confirmation bias for these dummies is all it is.
And this is exactly what I commented under this post. The reason why they won't answer that last question is because at the very end of the bill, literally the last fucking 2 lines is, This act and the amendments made by this act shall take effect on the date of the enactment of this act and shall apply with respect to applications for voter registration which are submitted on or after such date. So the answer to the last question would be no, you don't have to re-register. Or yes, you are guaranteed that you won't have to re-register. And there's also different parts in here talking about basically in order for somebody to get kicked off of the voter registration, there would have to be proof from some government agency that that person wasn't a citizen. So if you're already registered to vote, you won't have to prove that you're a citizen. It would be the government. It'd be, on them to prove that you're not a citizen.
I get it.
And then other proofs of citizenship, if you don't have the top, requirements, it says each state shall take affirmative steps on an ongoing basis to ensure that only U.S. citizens are registered to vote under the provisions of this act. A state may meet the requirements of paragraph 3 by establishing a program under which the state identifies individuals who are not United States citizens using information supplied by one of the following sources: the Department of Homeland Security, the Social Security Administration. So that tells me that your Social Security number would be one of the ways that they could prove that you're a citizen if you didn't have like a matching birth certificate and driver's license. Your Social Security number doesn't change. So there's a bunch of different ways written up in here to prove and disprove your citizenship.
Like Vet for Democracy, welcome back, brother. Do you really believe that statement you just put on in the chats? I mean, you can't tell me there's zero voter fraud going on when it comes to people without citizenship voting in places like California where you don't even have to ask for an ID or anything. I mean, do you really believe that, or do you just believe it's not a big enough problem to be concerned with? I mean, I know you can't believe that there's no fraud at all that's going on. You can't. I refuse to believe you believe that. I know you're smarter than that. But
I keep seeing this too. You have to do all that to register to vote. So then what is the problem? Why is the SAVE Act fought so hard? If we already have to do all that, why is it fought so hard? Let it go through. If we have to do all of this anyway, then let it go through. And it's not going to harm women. It's not going to stop them from voting because we have to do all this anyway, right? So
there's really no reason to be totally against this unless you don't want people to be required to have an ID to vote. And then you have to explain, well, why don't you want that? What's the problem with that? Other than that, there's really no reason to be against this. Whether you believe there's fraud or not, maybe in your mind there's 0% fraud, but that still doesn't justify not wanting the SAVE Act to pass. If your biggest gripe is, well, I don't think people should have to have IDs to vote and prove their citizenship. Well, then tell me why. Why don't you think that? You know what I mean? And you're not going to get a good answer from anybody because there isn't one. There isn't one.
Vet says then you have to do it twice, first to register, then to vote. But it's just to register, and it's just for new registrants. It has nothing to do with people already registered.
Nothing at all. No.
And
it might be if you have to change your address or something, because that would mean you change your polling place. You might have to show something, go to the Register of Voters and say, hey, I moved from 123 Apple Street to 123 Pear Street, and it's in a different section or a different county or whatever. But yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't understand. You have to show an ID for everything you do in this country, just about. If you're getting Social Security benefits, EBT, if you're getting alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it might be. You go to the doctor. What's the first thing can I see your ID? Make sure it's you that's getting the service, So
what is Vet for Democracy saying that's not what it's about or what they're doing, Justin? What comment was he referring to?
I said, no, it isn't. When I said that it's only going to affect new registrants, but that's literally what it says at the end of the bill.
Exactly.
this act and the amendments made by this act shall take effect on the date of the enactment of this act and shall apply with respect to applications for voter registration which are submitted on or after this date. There's nothing in there in the bill about re-registering to vote. There's nothing in the bill about being checked on people that are already registered to vote unless the Department of Homeland Security or another government agency brings up a dispute saying that said person is not a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I think, to his point just a little bit, they're talking about if you're updating your voter registration too, that it will affect you. But, I guess if you've been married and stuff like that, but none of this it's some new fucking territory that we're into.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, dude.
It's just a crazy argument.
Yeah.
I mean, people, for whatever reasons, they can change their last names. And, I mean, you want to vote, go. I mean, just bring the proof that you changed your last name and go register again. I don't understand what the big deal is because let's put it this way. If it's a little inconvenient for someone to make sure we have secure elections in this country, well, I mean, get the fuck over it, really. Yeah. I mean, because it's better than the alternative, which is just a voter free-for-all.
Yes,
I
agree with you 100%.
Because it makes sense. I mean, it's like it may inconvenience somebody who wants to change their name or change their fucking gender or whatever the fuck they're doing. Well, get over it. I mean, because like I said, the alternative is to have massive amounts of voter fraud going on in certain areas of the country where they're flooding these fucking illegals in these sanctuary cities, and they're not requiring anybody to prove who the fuck they are when they walk into a polling station. So why would anybody want that? I mean, it sounds great if you're on that side, but if the shit starts going against you, then you'll be complaining about it. Like the Democrats right now, the liberals, they don't see a problem with it. What's the problem? Why does everybody need an ID? Because they know if there's any fraud in that, it's going their way. So they don't care right now. But that's kind of like this whole, the First Amendment. You want to start taking rights away of what people can say because it protects your little feelings on a certain side. Well, eventually that shit will be used against you and you won't like it. So you got to watch these slippery slopes that you're going down when you start agreeing with crazy shit like this, like voters don't need IDs, because it could turn around and affect you one day. And I think it's just better to just have a blanket fucking rule. You've got to have an ID. You have to prove citizenship if you want to vote. Yep. Plain and simple. That's it. Yep.
And then you sit back and you look at it, Shane and Justin, too. When you look at states like California or New York or probably now Virginia is going to be one of them, that they'll take these illegals in these sanctuary cities, and dude, they're issuing them driver's license, man. So they're issuing them CDL license and stuff. So it makes you wonder how hard is that even say, well, I have a driver's license right here. I'm illegal, but I have a driver's license. I mean, can I still vote? I don't know how you combat it. I don't know how you deal with it, but I think it's the most sacred thing that we have in this country is the Constitution and our ability to vote on our constituents that we're voting for. And I mean, I don't care what people say. You saw the fraud that went on in Trump's second election, and there's no doubt in my mind Biden did not get 85 million votes or whatever it might have been. There's just no way. I mean, this guy was inept. Yeah, he set records. It was such bullshit, man, And, it's even, I saw something online today about why don't voter ballots, and I know we vote basically online through machines here, and there's a lot of states that vote on paper, but why don't all voting voting things have like serial numbers on them? Why can't they all be serial number? Maybe they are in some states. I don't know, but it's just an interesting thing that some people don't give a shit. Well, just let people vote, and I don't know. It's the most sacred thing we have here in this country.
Yeah, it's hard to really have faith in any of it because all of it's run essentially by humans, and humans are biased. You know what I mean? So if you're voting in the wrong area, so to say, and it's overrun by a certain political following, Well, who's to say your ballot's counted if they're hand counting them?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying everybody does that. They probably have some honest people that sit back there and do that, but
I'm
know
sure
they're going to have some dishonest people. It's just the way the world is, you know. It's human nature. So, and then when it comes to these machines, well, they're fucking computers. Of course it can be manipulated.
Absolutely.
In both parties' favor. It just depends on who the fuck's running the system at the time. So I don't think this is just a one-party problem. I think there's fraud that goes on both sides. I just think it reared its ugly head in unseen numbers when Biden
in 2020.
won.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
well, it's just like Vet just said, you know, it's just like Vet just said at 9:09, you know, Biden won in 2020, fucking accept it already. I accepted it. My IRA, my 401k, all my retirement accounts, they accepted it too, brother. So I lost tons of money. Inflation's through the fucking roof. Yeah, gas prices were through the roof. Yeah, I accepted it, but it's not what I wanted. If that's what you wanted, go ahead, dude. You know?
Yeah, and look,
stupid, man.
Yeah, like I said, it to say there was no kind of fuckery that went on with that. I mean, come on, man. They shut the entire fucking country down. I mean, they used that to their advantage. These mail-in ballots were just, numbers that we've never seen before as far as that went. Come on. Now, just say you don't care because your side won. That's a different statement. Don't say there was no fraud. Just say, I don't give a fuck because my side won. I'd respect the fuck out of that because I don't give a fuck. If it keeps them out of power, I don't care. You know, so I hope our side learns how to do some fuckery because the other side is a professional at it. So,
they are, brother.
All right, I've seen this person mention passports a few times, and you don't need a passport to vote. Like that's one of the options that you could use as proof of citizenship, but you don't need a passport specifically. There's many different ways to identify yourself that's within the bill.
Absolutely. I have a passport, man. So, you know, it's one I have and I went and got it and for traveling and stuff. But yeah, it is what it is, dude. But do I think you need one to vote? No, absolutely not. I don't think that needs to be mandatory. Not yet anyway.
And I want to know because what problem are they creating? And this is to your boy in the chats, the one I just pulled up on the screen. Tell me the problem they're creating. And tell me what you have against the SAVE Act, besides you just don't like it because I guess the Republicans are trying to get it passed. I mean, I want to know. I really want to know from someone who thinks like the other side thinks, because I don't see the problem with it if it's all boiling down to just proving who you are before you vote. I don't see the fucking issue. So somebody make me understand what the issue is all I'm asking. Yes. And I haven't had anybody point out anything. They ran with the whole, it's going to take away voting rights from millions of women. And that, you know, that died off now because it was a crock of shit. But that was all they had in the beginning to complain about. And we know the underlying reason. It's that they don't want people to have to prove who they are when they go into these democratic strongholds around the country, because they don't want to lose them. And if they have their way, they'll flood even more of these people into the Republican areas like Texas, so they can take Texas eventually, and then it's game fucking over. Just like we talked about with the Ken Good the other night, the lawyer that was on here from Texas. If they ever get their fucking hands on Texas, it's done as far as the Republicans ever having a chance in this country again. And you know, that's, and I almost
disagree with what Ken Good was saying. I mean, he's saying it's a strong red. I just don't see it over there, man. I just see that they're a purple state, man. I really do. You know,
it seems like
with the Muslim interaction, and absolutely, man. And just, you know, you look at Austin and some of these other communities of Houston and Dallas, and I'm sure maybe the country part of Texas is probably Republican, just like Illinois, you know. But you get these hardcore cities that make up 20, 30, 40 million people, and it's like, dude, you'll never win nothing again, you know. And we lose Texas, it's a done deal, you know.
Well, I'm hoping it is as strong as Ken was mentioning, and how Matt,
I'm hoping so too.
He thinks it's strong red. I hope it is, but I know they'd like nothing more, like I said, than to get their hands on that shit and turn it. Now, and you know, you brought up Austin. Austin's a funny one to me because that's where everybody moves to. That's getting the fuck away from these crazy ass policies that they don't want to live under. But Austin is so liberal. Like, I don't understand that. I mean, they can't wait to run to Austin because it's the little fucking baby California of the South. And it's like, well, why'd you even leave where you came from? Because they can come over here for one and enjoy the financial perks of living in Texas, but they can still, I guess, live under the liberal laws that they like and get rid of the ones they don't. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's like, just stay where you were, because Austin has no chance on turning red itself, you know. I mean, so it's just weird to watch people flood out of these liberal run places and then just turn a city into that. I mean, Austin's I don't want to say a shithole, but there's a whole YouTube or TikTok, one of them fucking platforms, page dedicated to just fights and shit that are going on on 5th Street or whatever it is in Austin. It's a hellhole out there. I mean, it's, you know, and I don't understand why they run from one place because they don't like the policies just to turn the new place into it. It's weird. It's a weird move, but it happens a lot. Yeah. So what we talking about, Justin, in the chat? They say anything that makes sense? Paranormal Channel. Ooh, I like that name. I like the paranormal.
From England too, man. Go ahead, man. I feel sorry for y'all over there.
Research how many people were arrested for voter fraud. But so arrested means it didn't happen? Is that what we're going with? I'm in the chats now. Is that, I mean, that's like saying everybody who's murdered, has been arrested. Like, that's a weird kind of way to put that. I mean, if you don't know who these people are, if they're just walking into these places, no IDs and voting, well, who are you going to arrest? I mean, they go in there and push a fucking button and don't even have to tell you who they are. I mean, it's weird. But
I'll be right back, dude.
But anyway, Justin.
Hey.
Let's watch a video. Let's pull up a video. Yes. No nakedness in it. Nothing like that. No gay porn. Nothing crazy.
Well, I guess we should just get off then.
It's more of a who was wrong in this situation. So let's pull this up here. And it's a little long, so I don't think I'm going to play the whole thing, and you'll kind of get the gist of it. But let's see what's going on here.
Wait, please stop. Please stop. I don't want it. That's your citation. All right, here's your copy of the citation.
Get your ticket. She don't want it.
You don't want to take it? No. Well, it's going to take it because it's your citation. I don't want it. That's your citation.
He drops it. She throws it out the window.
No, don't do that. Fuck off my car. I'm not stepping out of you. Mom, chill out. I'm not doing call. Yes, call. I'm not touching.
Mom, please chill out. Mom, please chill out. Mom,
don't touch me. I'm not stepping out of shit. Call your motherfucking supervisor. You're not the supervisor. Call your supervisor. A supervisor. I'm not stepping out of nothing.
Mom, chill out. Please chill out.
Get your hand off me.
So that goes on for a while, and then eventually.
You have a say someone else. Let me call 911. Get your fucking.
Wait, please, sir, stop.
Wait,
stop. Mom, chill out. Mom, wait, stop, sir. Please stop. Wait, stop. Please stop. Wait, stop, sir. Stop, please. Wait, please stop. Stop, please. I'm scared. Stop. Wait, stop, please. Wait, please, stop, sir. Wait, stop. Stop, please.
All right, so you get the gist of it. She was not happy about the ticket, but did he have any right? Like, why not just give her the ticket and walk back to your car? She doesn't have to happily accept it, I wouldn't think, in that situation. Like, oh, thank you for the ticket. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I personally would have just wrote a new littering ticket every time she threw one out the window. And just stack them bitches up. Like, I could play this game too. Fuck.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what I was meaning as pro law enforcement as we try to be on here, because I do believe that, there needs to be law and order in the country. But to say that they never go overboard with shit, because to me it was as simple as he kind of tossed a ticket to her, she threw something out the window, and I'm with you. Worst case scenario, oh, okay, you want to be a smart ass? Now I'm going to write you a ticket for littering. You want to throw that one out the window too? But as far as putting his hands on her in that situation, I don't know.
No, it seemed like he definitely went overboard. I don't know if there was something prior to that they were already arguing about, or which I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah.
I just think she wasn't happy to begin with because she was getting a ticket, which none of us are if we get it. And I mean, fuck him if he's having a bad day. Write your fucking ticket, hand it to the lady, and go on about your business. It was weird to watch that. But
yeah, I would have probably been petty cop too, and like I said, just go ahead and write.
Yeah, and Paul is right. Well, Paul is right. You know, there are a lot of people that are raised to not have respect, and I get it, but not respecting law enforcement to me doesn't justify always, you know, them being able to put their fucking hands on you like he did that would. What's up, CSR? I see you. We doing well, brother. I hope you are too.
What up, big dog?
Did you see the video, CSR? You're just joining. Let's watch it. Let's watch it again. He's big on
Drink, step out of the car.
No, don't do that.
Please stop, please.
So what started it here? Okay.
All right, here's your copy of the citation. As far as the bills, you don't want to take it?
No.
Oh, yes, you don't take it because it's your citation.
I don't want it.
That's your citation. That's littering. Step out of the car.
So how does it go from that's littering to I'm sorry, I'm about to beat your ass? How does it go from that? I didn't know littering was a getting you fucked up offense. That's weird.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, he should have just kept writing fucking littering tickets. And
yeah, I mean, he went from,
going.
Let's see, that's littering.
That's littering. Step out of the car.
No, don't do that. Fuck off my
To
car.
them basically arguing
Please
to
stop,
this,
stop,
you know.
Stop. No, stop, please.
For littering.
Stop. Wait, stop, please.
Wow.
Please stop, sir.
I mean, Brad, yeah, you were kind of gone, but it was just, you know, she wasn't happy about getting that ticket, and he handed it to her, sort of. He kind of dropped it in her lap, and she threw it out the window, and then that was it. You know, he was like, all right, get out the car. You're littering. Get out the car. Like, I'm thinking, come on, dude. Like, I don't know what kind of power trip he was on that day. It seemed a little overboard to me.
Looks like it.
But, yeah, you know, like Justin said, just write some more fucking littering tickets, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be like,
I'd tell her, look, I got all day. Fuck it. We'll just sit here and I'll write littering tickets every time.
I don't work.
You know?
you gotta be like this cop here, dude.
Which one?
Right here.
I know that it just got broken.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's why I pulled you over. It's a valid reason. Where's your driver's license?
You pulled me over because you had things to do. That's why you pulled me over.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah.
You're the registered owner of the vehicle?
Here you go, duh.
Duh. Okay.
Just giving it back to her.
Yeah,
Duh.
absolutely, dude.
That's
a
what I'd
great-
like to
Said
be.
womp womp.
That's what I'd be as a cop. Man. I don't know. Let's see. What's our boy talking about? But he's got to know the police have short fuses, especially with some people. Some of them do. I mean, I think that's kind of an umbrella statement. I mean, I think a lot of them would have known how to handle that situation better than that guy.
Yes,
Apparently he had a
absolutely.
short fuse, and if that's how short your fuse is, you probably don't need to be a cop. It puts
Absolutely.
you in a dangerous situation, and anybody around you in a dangerous situation. I mean, suppose that woman's son would have had a pistol on him, because that's who that was screaming in the video the whole time while he's yanking his mother out the car. So you know how ugly that could have turned, all because this cop decided her throwing a ticket out the window justified him trying to snatch her out the fucking car. It's just a bad situation to be put in for no reason, really. So I don't know. Like I said, I saw it. It kind of made me think that that's a little far.
That was a little far, from what I caught.
Now,
And dude, a lot goes with complying too. I know we all get pissed, and we've all had speeding tickets or no seatbelt tickets or brake tag tickets. Dude, you know what? If just accept the ticket, dude. That it doesn't mean you're guilty. It just means it's just it's a ticket. You can go to court and contest it. I just don't understand why you just don't take it and say. You think about it, and it's like, yeah, okay, I got to pay the fucking thing. It is what it is. If not, no,
that's
fuck you.
true.
I'm going to court, and I'm going to contest it, dude. It blows up to more than what it needs to be from the average. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, neither one of them seemed right in that situation, because she could have simply just threw the ticket, like just threw it over her shoulder in the back seat and told him to fuck off, roll up your window, and go. I mean, no problem. It's just she decided to throw it out the window, and well, like I said, I didn't think littering led to you getting your ass beat by the cops. But apparently
I'm looking at it, and apparently everything he did, whether it looked great or not, was legal. Like, they can tell you to get out of the car for any reason during a traffic stop.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
And you can't refuse to get out of the car.
Well, once they have the legal right to stop you and they've proven or at least, I guess, think you've committed a crime, which I guess speeding technically is. But, you know, I don't know. I just think being it's a woman, if I'm a male cop, it's like she's not going to make me go that far by just being pissed off because I'm writing her a ticket. You know, I mean, how small is his dick, really? I mean, it's like, calm down, dude. She's got an attitude with you. I'm sure it's not the first attitude he's seen. Give the woman her ticket. She throws it out on the ground. Either write her another one for littering and say, well, that's fine. Don't show up to court. I don't care. You'll have an attachment. Don't pay the ticket. Throw the motherfucker out. I don't give a shit. Flush it down the toilet. Do what you want with it, but there's your ticket. And I'd go on about my business.
Yep.
But anyway. But we do love the police here, so most
absolutely. We are pro police, dude.
Pro police.
For the most part.
Hold on. I'm coming. I'm sending a text message to someone inside of my house to bring me a beer to the studio. Can
must be nice, dude.
Get me a beer.
That's what happens, Justin, when you live in a 12,000 square foot house, dude.
I'm telling you, many mansions and shit. You know,
get me a beer or send
probably segue over, dude. You know, I get it.
Over here.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I'm gonna get it flown in. Yeah.
Which refrigerator? I know you've got more than
that's
a handful,
the question.
You know.
Well, the worst part is I've got a fridge in the little studio and I don't have nothing in it, so that's pretty stupid. So now it's on the other side of the property. But anyway, let's watch another video, guys. Y'all ready for another one? Now, Brad, it's tax season. Have you did your taxes yet?
No, I file an extension every year, dude.
Oh, good. All right. Well, then you didn't miss this. All right. Well, let me pull it up then. Awesome. I was hoping.
Come and file your taxes. Come and file your taxes. You know you want that cash advance. You want that cash advance. You better file.
How many people are they going to get audited? Fucking idiots.
Is that an H&R Block commercial, dude?
I think it is. Boss up taxes. Look, everybody call 832-979-0953. Get your taxes done. Don't worry about it. That's his job. So
I like it.
Come and file your taxes. That's pretty catchy, man.
Hell
so there you go. Go
Damn,
file.
I wish I didn't file mine already.
I know, man. You could have sent them to boss up taxes, man. Can you I don't even know how to where to go with that without just sounding like
hard, dude. It's hard, dude.
What do you do with that? I mean, what is there any hope for that community in that area?
You probably don't file your taxes there. It's a start. That's a start.
Like, what the fuck's taxes? You know, I just don't understand how that attracts anybody to file their fucking taxes, but it will. They probably got a booming business.
Yeah.
So,
when it means getting cash that day, absolutely it means a lot, dude.
He's going to don't take up for them. It is catchy, but I promise you they don't know what they're doing. Come and file your taxes. Come and file your taxes. Oh, man. I wish ringtones were still a thing. That'd be mine.
That would be a banger, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, just have some fun, CSR. God damn. Take everything so... Never seen a bad commercial? Yeah, every single one of those fucking injury lawyer commercials that we see around here, it's all over in Louisiana.
God, dude.
And most of them are white, but they're all corny and just goofy ass fucking commercials. Yeah, but they're every commercial break, there's at least one in it on every show you're watching.
They're worse than pharmaceutical companies around here, dude. You know,
I know
they really are.
I know,
man.
it's a bad state for that, but. Anyway, come and file your taxes. Again, if anybody needs the number, oh shit, what is it? I can't see it now. Hold on. I'll get y'all the number. I know everybody went. There it is. 832-979-0953. Boss Up Taxes. They will get you the max refund, and this isn't a paid endorsement. I just have a lot of faith in what they're doing over there. I mean, the man sat there and said it. Dude. Come and file your taxes. So, there you go. Oh, look. Well, damn. Thank you. There comes the helicopter. The beer was flown in.
Woo!
Nice. All right. Took them forever. Thank you. They had to drive here. Let's see.
What else?
Let's watch. I just seen Bill Maher, bro. He's been on his shit lately. And
Dude,
he had
really
Jerry,
is, dude.
Yeah, you had Jerry O'Connell on there, which, Justin, I don't know if you the movie Stand By Me, the little fat kid in it, he was on Jerry Maguire. You'll probably recognize him. I don't know if you know the name, but anyway, let's see what he had to say.
You want to know why people vote for Trump? That's why. Your shitty attitude is a real turnoff.
So I'm going to tell you about a bit of, I say this, will I stay married? Blow it over here. My,
sounds like you're going to blow it over here.
The night of the election, this third one.
Yeah.
Third election. Everyone knows what I'm talking about here. I was watching late at night the returns, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think Trump was going to win. I live in California. I didn't think he was going to win. From what I was hearing.
I didn't either.
I think he was going to win.
No,
this is where I live, you know?
Yeah.
I said something along the lines of like, there was no planning. This is what they get. There should have been a primary. I said something along those lines, you know? Like I was just spitballing ideas as to, it was a shock, you know? My wife and daughters, without saying anything, became physical with me. They were filled with rage. So if I am being careful with you in how I say things, yes, I live in California. I live with not one, not two, but three people who, if I made any kind of joke, they would they'd become very angry with me. You know,
Can you imagine being that big of a pussy in your house that you can't even joke about, you know, because he's talking about he was going to say something about Kamala Harris or whatever, that they ran the campaign wrong and they should have done this, that, and other. And his wife and his daughter went crazy on him. And I'm like, these people are fucking nuts, man. So then he's on this show the whole time with Bill Maher, trying to watch what he's saying because he doesn't want to piss his wife off and his daughter.
He's got to go home, dude. Yeah,
and you heard what he said. Yeah, he lives in California, and I'm thinking, what a fucking sorry life, man. Where you have,
dude, he probably
hide.
pisses this. He probably sits to piss, if I had to guess. Dude,
I guarantee it. But I was listening to, let's see.
They don't strike people as Democrats.
Let's listen to Bill Maher on this one here, because he gets interested, man. He's like I said, he's been on his shit lately, man, and it's the Democrats are hating it.
Really need to cut loose the celebrities. Democrats really need to cut loose the celebrities. They're not helping. They don't strike people as normal because they're fucking not. Democrats already have a problem with people thinking that they are not the common sense crowd. And then when they see, the Chapel Roans and the Billie Eilishes of the world who don't act like normal people, and then whatever they're saying just strikes everybody in America who's a normal person as, oh God, here's more of this stuff where you can't relate to a real life. And of course, there was comedy in there about it's so easy to show celebrities acting crazy. Democrats.
So, I mean, great point. I mean, it is. They need to stop with the celebrity nonsense because it hasn't helped apparently with these people. But I just don't know if they'll get that picture, man. I don't know. I mean, that was another, without us having to hear Jerry O'Connell's fucking voice anymore, but he was talking about how great that rally was that Kamala Harris held when Meg Thee Stallion was on stage twerking and on how powerful it was. And then, of course, Bill Maher fucking gave him a tongue lashing over that stupidity. And I think that's kind of what that led to this conversation, that just pulling these fucking celebrities out that live in their own fucking bubble, their own world. They have no idea how middle America thinks, feels, to throw these people out there to speak for us, so to say, and try to convince us to vote a certain way. It's not a winning strategy. And I hope the Democrats don't notice it. I hope they don't change. But besides cheating, if they want to win, they better start trying to relate more to everyday people in this country and stop throwing these people up there that, like I said, have no clue how normal people function in society and how we really feel. It's crazy to watch.
It is. And look, there's two comments here I want to kind of hit on, dude, with CSR, when he also hit up that she was just a bad candidate. She was horrible. She's still a horrible person, and I agree. He's a henpecked man. But CSR, let me ask you this question out there in the comments. On the Democratic side, who do you think that the Democrat Party is going to put up in that position? Because it won't be long. I mean, it'll be a couple of years here for the 2028 elections,
I'll run as a Democrat.
And look, I agree with Paul Warner, man. We dodged the Tomahawk missile with Harris. Can you imagine if she was in power today? What would happen? I mean, it'd be open borders. It'd be spin, spin, spin. Not that Trump's not spin, spin, spin. But I just don't think she has what it takes to run a country. I just, to be honest with you, I think it would have been a horrible decision to get her elected president of this country,
I kind of agree with CSR too, that the middle class worker will not vote for a woman president, or especially or too far left. Of course, that's understood. But yeah, I for whatever reason, I'm sure there's multiple reasons, but it's just it's weird that it's been instilled in a lot of people that a strong, powerful leader has to be a man. That's just how we look at it, and I guess.
And I think we all know a woman.
History, what you mean? We all know
a woman, you know what I mean? So it's like, ugh.
Well, look, I'm not saying there's not a woman that could run this place better than what some of these other leaders have, but I know one of the knocks that a lot of people say when it comes to the politics and with the women is just being, how emotions seem to control their behaviors more than men. And I don't know if that's true. I just know that's a lot of the arguments that I hear, that if for one you get one up there that's a little too, women have an instinct in them to take care of everybody. That's why one of the worst things going on right now in this country is white liberal women, because and a lot of things that they do comes from a good place, but it doesn't make sense in the realm of reality, because they like to make laws and rules based on a utopian society. And you don't need a leader up there like that doesn't see the real issues that are going on, or that, not everybody is able to live in this utopia society. It's just impossible. Exactly. But women tend to be caregivers. They take care of people.
Sure.
They
Absolutely.
want to try to save everybody, and everybody is not savable. And that's not to say every woman, because I don't think Hillary Clinton gave two fucks about anybody. So, I mean, she's not in that category. She probably would have fit in with these fucking corrupt, just dirty guys that have been running the country. But for the most part, that's the knock I've seen, about why a lot of people don't lean towards voting for a woman.
Right.
They just don't know if they can handle the task of just, being hard ass when it's time to be a hard ass, like Trump's doing right now. When it comes down to fuck around and find out, a lot of women don't have that mentality, really. So, and I know that's an umbrella, putting everybody under one fucking thing, but that's just, you talk to an average person, average guy. That's kind of the consensus of it. So you take that for what you want. But yeah, it would be hard to get a woman in there without, pulling a bunch of stunts and shit. I mean, Hillary almost had it, but it wasn't, it just wasn't,
wasn't in the books for her.
Yeah, it wasn't in the books for her, and I think it haunts her to this day. Old Hillary, she wants her one more chance at it, boy. I don't know,
one more shot.
Yeah, she'd love it, man, because that was her overall goal, and she thought she had.
Oh, absolutely, that's all she fought for, dude. That's the reason her and Bill were together, dude. Because they loved each other. Yeah.
Well, and had Trump not be running, she probably would have beat anybody else. So we would have had our woman president, but Hillary's not the typical woman. Hillary's not a fucking caregiver. That's an evil bitch,
Right.
She'll slit your throat in your sleep, so you got to watch her. But, I think she would have had it, honestly, if Trump wasn't in the way. And I think to this day, I think she realizes that, and she probably, holds this just contentment. Just can't, she can't stand Donald Trump for that reason. I mean, she's never going to forgive him of that. So
Nope.
So Hillary Clinton is evil like Trump. I don't know if Trump's evil. I think Trump's ego gets in the way a lot. I think he's very ego-driven. To say he's, evil, and I know I throw that term out a lot when it comes to Hillary and all, and I don't really know if she's, quote unquote evil. I just think she's super corrupt. She's corrupt. It just power and money hungry, and it's almost, I guess it would be called evil if you were willing to get that by any means necessary. I don't know what you would call that, but I don't think Trump is necessarily evil. And I simply say that because you never heard that being uttered about him at all before he decided to run for president of the United States. He was just a great guy. I mean, everybody looked up to him, and, everybody wanted to be around him, and it had nothing but praise for the guy. So he couldn't be that evil, or it would have come out, decades ago. So to throw that at him now, I think is just unfair, because you don't like that he's running the country. Because, like I said, he didn't have that label until he decided to run for president, and the Democrats, threw that label at him, and now it sticks. So.
Yes. And, it's like most of these Democrat politicians. You can go back to Chucky Schumer and, Adam Schiff and all of these. Hillary Clinton was another one that was campaigning on the basis of that. Hey, man, if you're here illegal, you need to be caught, captured, sent back to your country. And now it has just did a whole 180 that, no, they got to be here. They have a right to be here. It's this and this and this. It's just, I don't know. To me, they're fake people, man. They all go by the narrative of whatever the now is. If it was, we don't support gay marriage. Now you look at Obama, Hillary, and all of these Democrats that it's the best thing. We support transgenderism and yada, yada. And it's like, dude, if you really supported that, why wasn't you saying that back in 2006, 7, 8? When it was a hot topic, you were saying the total opposite of everything than what you believe now, And I just believe they played it, and it's all politicians play this political game, man. They really do. They just go with whatever is the consensus of at the time,
Sure, yeah, and I think that's just political. It's how the game is played, I guess, is you're constantly trying to pander to the crowd that you think is going to get
to
you
your
the
base.
Most votes.
Absolutely, dude.
And right now, it seems like the Democrats have been on this kick of pandering to the younger crowd, which is where these celebrities come in. And, they want these kids that are just not quite, educated enough yet to know how things work. So they try to play on their emotions a lot of times, with how bad things are in the country and how bad it's going to be. And he's taking all your rights away and blah, blah, blah. But I think they're messing up because the average 21, 22-year-old, they're really not taking the time out of their day to go vote. I think you're pandering to the wrong crowd if you're the Democrats, because it's not on the mind of most young people. I mean, I think about how many fucking elections you gave a fuck about at 22 years of age.
Oh,
none.
Shit, yeah, dude. Yeah, probably
I
none,
personally
dude.
didn't give a fuck about it at all. I just had other shit on my brain. It wasn't politics, and that's probably the average young person. So I don't know if they've learned their lesson yet as far as trying to pander to them. I hope they didn't. I hope they continue doing what's causing them to lose year after year. But
and I still believe a lot of these young so-called liberals out there that are at that age of 18 to 25. I do believe I get the socialist point of view, being that young, and we believe in socialism, and this has to be this and that. And until they get in their degrees or whatever they're shooting for, and they get into the workforce, and then they realize it's like, dude, this is just, everything is fucked up here. That what I do, I work my ass off, I get paid, and god damn, look what I'm paying in taxes, and look how much shit is costing, if it's housing or if it's taxes or food or automobiles, insurances, you know what I'm saying? Just look at all the things all the way around. And it's like, then you finally wake up and be like, dude, I don't know what side's right anymore, It just, it doesn't make any sense,
Well, I've seen this in the comments. They talking about Mom Donnie here. He's got that New York State's something to do with the state tax over there, and what's commonly called death tax by critics, because it taxes wealth transferred after death. Now, apparently he's trying to make some changes to it. So key details of the proposal: the current New York estate tax exemption threshold over $7 million. Estates below this pay nothing. Proposed change slash this exemption to 750,000. Good God, that's a major fucking reduction, huh? From $7 million to $750,000. So that's a 90% reduction, the lowest in the U.S. if passed. Wow, the goal is to raise billions. Yeah, well, they got to pay for all this free shit that they're trying to give out. What else? So yeah, that's basically the big one. Yeah, so yeah, they're trying to get that passed. From $7 million to 750. So anything over $750,000, that's wow. That's a major change, man. And you know, I don't know, they may get it. But like I said, he's trying to find a way to pay for all this free shit that he's been promising these people. Yeah. It's easy to promise that shit, and not, you know.
And look, do I think that the federal government is out of control? Absolutely. I think Republican or Democrat side, it's totally out of control, man. The spending, just the way it acts in general. And I can't stress it enough, man. I just wish we could really get the convention of states, you know, and I think you need 38 states to sign on with their legislators, that the states could take control. And we could. I mean, it's in the Constitution. We could take control of the government, and they would be rendered pretty much powerless, dude, because everything would have to go through the states. The problem is getting 38 states. It's, you know, and our forefathers set it up to where it wasn't an easy act to do that, you know, so.
And it shouldn't be.
And it shouldn't be, you know, but when we sit back and look at, you know, they need us peasants, man. They need us middle class, us peasants to pay for all of the bullshit spending and conflicts and whatever it might be to fund everything. And it's really a sad day because we all see what everybody pays every week, and it is sad. You know, I own a business, and I see what my guys make on paper, and then after taxes, I got to hear them bitching that they're not making enough, and it's like, it's out of my control, dude. I mean, it's just, you know, claim nothing, and I don't know, get full checks, and then you got to deal with the IRS at the end. But yeah, I don't know what to tell them anymore. You know, it's like, man, it's tough, man. It's tough out there. You know, when you look at inflation and gas prices and insurance and the cost of living and this and that. You know, but yeah, I don't know what the answer is anymore. I really don't, Shane.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the the comment I got pulled up right there as far as the tax cuts, and if I'm not mistaken, in that one big beautiful bill, as Trump named it, he's so goofy with that shit, but it extended many or most of the individual tax cuts indefinitely, making, you know, lower individual rates, higher standard deductions, and related provisions permanent rather than letting them expire. So I don't know what the issue is there, but it, you know, that's part of this whole political process. Is no matter what goes on, there's going to be somebody that can make an argument to any and everything. Sure. You know what I mean? Yes. Nothing's ever just right down the middle. This is what it is. Right. There's going to be somebody that tells you, no, that's not how it is. You can read the shit in black and white and say, yes, this is what it is. But then, you know, so it's never ending, because that's a knock I hear against Trump, is that all he's doing is taking care of his wealthy, you know, his wealthy circle or whatever. And I mean, if you read, you know, like I said, that act that he got passed, I mean, it claims to kind of keep those cuts around for everybody, you know, so.
As they should. I mean, I'm going to tell you, the middle class, dude, for the most part, should not be paying an ounce of taxes to the federal government. There's enough money inflows that the middle class should not pay a nickel for taxes, you know. Now, if you live in the state that you live in, you're subjected to that taxes that you have to pay. But for them to be charging us, you know, state tax, and I get it, Social Security, biggest scam probably ever, Ponzi scheme, you know, but it is what it is. We pay into it, and you hope it'll be there when we retire. I do worry about future generations with that, if it's going to be there for them. I think it'll be there for me. I'm pretty close to it, but you know, it's nothing I'm counting on, if I could say that. It's nothing that I'm counting on with Social Security that's going to be able to support me in my life habits that I have, you know. I could have taken that money I paid in the Social Security, put it in the market at my own risk, and probably made 4 times the amount, and then putting it in the Social Security. So, but with that being said, it's very true. I mean, it is. But yeah, I mean, I think the middle class making a certain amount of dollars, dude, you shouldn't be paying anything in this country. You know, there's enough businesses and there's enough sales tax and federal tax to go around. And it just shows you that how much money we spend. And, you know, if it's the, what's her name? Kristi Noem, 200, what we said, Shane, 200 million on commercials. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know.
Yeah. What I never did get to.
Wasn't that Kristi Noem spending 200 million on commercials? And, you know, going into it, it's like, look, man, I'll be to both sides of the parties and of where we at. That the frivolous money spending that we do is just, it's ridiculous. It really is. The money we give, just, you know, man, we have starving people here, homeless people here, and it
really pisses you off. Anybody that if you pay taxes after when you file your federal income taxes, it hits a little harder now, knowing all the fraud that's been exposed.
Absolutely,
that are taxed up.
100%.
You know, we kind of knew before, like you always had an idea that the government was kind of up to some shady shit, but
absolutely
to actually see it and know 100% that it's going on by the billions, and it makes it even worse to sit down and do your taxes and see that you owe the government a few grand or whatever it is that you may owe. And it's like, because now you know exactly where this shit is going towards. And the amount of fraud that was uncovered, they could afford to give us a fucking break for a while. You know, there was too much money going into the government if they could afford to steal as much of it as they did and keep the country running. You know what I mean? So
it's fucked up, dude, when you got to work 5 months out the year to pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 5 or 6 months out the year you have to work to pay your taxes that you pay in this country. It's just, and it's set up. It's all by design, dude. It is all by design, dude. Yeah. Everything that they do, it's all by design, and it's really a sad fucking situation that we're in. You know, I don't know how you end it. I really don't.
You know, the Kristi Noem thing you were talking about, $220 million self-promotional ad campaign.
How you like that, dude?
The DHS spent massive taxpayer funds on ads pushing Trump's mass deportation agenda, many featuring her prominently. So she was basically like her fucking OnlyFans. It was just a bunch of videos of her. Reports allege that Trump did not approve it. You know, and a firm tied to her aides benefited from this. So, it looks like she got caught in some.
And dude, actually, I think she's even in some perjury bullshit, because she swore before Congress that Trump knew about this, and then Trump came out and said he had no idea of this. So it was like, well, if that's the case, bitch, you got to go. And then she was screwing, supposedly, what's his name, Lewandowski or whatever his name is. So some extramarital affairs on that. But
what do you say? Allegedly, right?
Allegedly, allegedly. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole thing, $220 million on commercials, and if it's this, if it's that, it just, dude, it's just sickening, dude, to see.
Really, what that does is just really it shines a light on the problem with this fraud going on with taxpayer money, and it just shows that it's not a one-sided issue when it comes to the political spectrum.
It's not.
It's been going on for years. And I'm sure both sides have been benefiting from this. There's no way they weren't.
Absolutely. And you can see why we're $40 trillion in debt, $200 trillion in unfunded liabilities in this country, dude. And you think we're going to rebound from that? Ain't never going to happen, dude. There will be a major financial change in this country. I think it comes under Trump. When? I don't know, but I do. I just, I harp on it. I know I preach it on here. It's coming. There's a major change in this country coming, dude. And there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be elites, and then there's going to be poverty. There will be no more middle class, dude. They are going to do away with the middle class. I promise you.
And I just think that's a goofy mindset, not what you're saying. I'm just talking about if you're running a country, how does it benefit you to have everybody in poverty? You would think you need people to continue paying into this system that you're stealing from. So I've never understood what benefit it has to run a country into the ground like that. You know what I mean?
It's about control, dude.
Because there's a lot of people in this somewhere.
I agree with you on that, dude. But there's a lot of people in this country that depend on the breadcrumbs that the government gives them every year. They vote for it, dude. They support it. They vote for it. You can look at the inner cities. You can look at the city of New Orleans, man. You can see the hell and the shit that they elect year after year after year after year. Why? Because if this happens, they're going to get rid of you this, or they're going to get rid of that. And it's the same thing on the federal level. And I just believe it. And it's either going to be, like I said, elite, or that you're going to be, I'm not saying poverty, but most of us will be. But, I mean, when you got people that are out there saying that you'll own nothing, dude, in this country, and you'll be happy. I can tell you my generation, and like myself, I won't be happy if I don't own anything. It's just, it's so true. But there's mindsets out there that are like, I don't really give a shit. As long as my rent's paid, the lights are turned on, the water's flowing, and I'm getting a few bucks every month from the government or for whatever source, I'm okay. There's a lot of mindsets out there like that. And I'm not one of those. I'm a capitalist and I'm an entrepreneur at heart, It just as all of us are on this panel,
Fuck that. I want food stamps. Damn it.
There you go.
I want
Let's
my
do
share.
It. Yeah. Let's do
it. If I were Dr. Evil, let's say, and I were running and I could run this country, to me, it would make more sense to somehow figure out a way to let people prosper just enough to where they're happy, but not uber wealthy at all. Not wealthy, just on that line to where they can afford to continue paying taxes into this system that I'm stealing from, but they've got enough money where they're kind of content in life, so they're not questioning anything I'm doing. That's how I would run it. I wouldn't see the benefit.
We're there now.
Well,
Absolutely,
right.
Shane. I think we're there now. The average person. I mean, look, us three on this panel right here, we do okay for a living. Could it be better? Yeah, absolutely. It could always be better, dude. But are we like hurting that we can't go out to dinner with our wives or our kids or go on a vacation? Yeah, absolutely. We're doing okay. There's a lot of people that have it worse than us, but when you sit back and you look at that, it's like, I don't think the government wants that at all, dude. I think they want total control control of the people, dude. And the only way to do that is mass transportation, dense population. You own nothing, dude. You own nothing. Your property, your water rights, your blah, blah, blah. And dude, we can go on from there. But yeah, I think that's what they want. And it's these globalist elitists, man. And population control, it's another thing. That's what COVID was all about. It was a test about population control. I know I'm going a little far off to the left here, dude, but it's just the way I feel about it, Well,
to me, it would benefit the system that's getting paid off of what we do to allow everybody to at least, like you just mentioned, kind of live at our levels, which isn't extremely like we're just, floating in money, but we're far from poverty too. But we're comfortable enough in life to where we don't really want to go out of our way or disrupt our everyday life to fight back and push back against the government. You know what I mean? But we're continuing to pay taxes in. So to me, that system's more beneficial to them than it would be to say, run like a Cuba regime, which it's odd. Like, where are they getting all their money from? It's not coming from the citizens. I guess they're selling
not at all
minerals and I don't know. I mean, how does a place generate income when the citizens aren't paying into the system because they're all fucking, broke?
Because they control everything. The government controls everything. If you own a hardware store in Cuba, okay, you can only get 15% of the profit after you worked in there for fucking 18 hours a day, and the government's going to get the rest. But
if nobody has money to go spend at these hardware stores, is what I'm saying, then where are they going to get this money from? It's kind of like North Korea. Well, that's what I was getting at. It's got to be, there's got to be other ways that these leaders, so to say, like a Kim Jong-un over there in North Korea, is making his wealth. Now, granted, what is money if you don't have to buy anything? It's like you get people, hey, build me a fucking mansion. You're going to do it. Make me a fucking car. I want a fucking Ferrari. Yeah. You get it over here now or somebody's going to die. Look, North
Korea is a prime example, dude. Probably 70% of those people live impoverished, man. I mean, they live, fighting for their last meal. And if they don't shit enough, they get punished for fertilizer, dude, or whatever it might be. But you do have your oligarchs and
that's terrible, but it's true.
It's true. You do have your oligarchs in North Korea that live on high on a hill, and you do have your elites that live there, and they go shopping and they do this, and they got the right food, and they, and they just, I mean, what they say, North Korea, dude, makes $1 billion a year off of phone scams or scams against people throughout this country. So when you sit back and say that these countries can't make money, they can, and that's how they do it.
And that's what I was wondering. Like, for instance, say this country, like, how would it generate money if all the citizens were in poverty? If they ran it the whole country into the ground, where we were basically living like a North Korea, or at least how we believe North Korea is, because I mean nobody knows, they don't tell you anything, but just assume that everybody is living in poverty. Well, how would the United States generate all this wealth that they've accumulated? Because it seems like it's all come from tax dollars over the years.
Yes.
Once they implemented this tax system, they realized they hit the fucking lottery.
Oh, now, absolutely.
So I just always wonder, like, where would their wealth continue to come from if they killed that by putting all of us in poverty, And it's just I mean,
dude, to a certain degree, when you say poverty, dude, I think that's an interesting analogy, dude, because I think there's a lot of middle class people that are living in poverty. Some of it to their own demise, and there's a lot of it that is demise of way the government treats people. Some people work their ass off to afford the houses and the cars and the private schools and living the vacations. You could be in poverty and you could still be middle class. I'm not talking where it's extreme poverty in this country, but I do believe you'll be beholden to the government, if that makes sense, to where, hey, most of what you make going straight to the government, dude.
Well, and I was just curious, because there are places where the majority of the population is in quote unquote poverty, like bread lines, and
sure.
So I was just I've always been curious that if this country was run down that bad, like, how would they continue to generate money for these elites to live like they live? Is all I was really wondering. Like, what else can they do to make money besides take it from us? Because the government doesn't generate income; they take it. They take their money from the citizens. I mean, they don't do anything. I mean, every dollar that it seems like the government has comes from people that work and pay into the system. There's no other way for the government to it's not like they produce any commodities or anything. I mean, they don't do anything. They do nothing to generate money. They just take it. So I was just curious, like, if it ever got that bad, like, would it really benefit the government to run the country into the ground and just all of us standing around, starving to death, and nobody's working, and everything's just turned into shit. It's like, okay, well, where's their wealth?
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen in this country. I think there'll be a living wage. I mean, just like today. I mean, if you figure the average not homeless, but the average person on welfare, if it's EBT or Section 8 housing, is probably making 30 or 40 grand a year, 30 grand a year, whatever it might be, less than that in some spots. You'd have to look at and see what the government pays every year for Medicaid and homelessness and Section 8 and all that stuff. And when you look at that numbers, it might be $1 trillion a year. If that's the case, the government can probably support that going forward with oil sales and minerals and whatever else they ship throughout the world. It's a touchy subject, but I think that we're,
They don't need us.
What? They don't need us, dude. I'm telling you, bro. They don't need us, dude.
Bastards.
There's nothing but oligarchs coming in this country. The Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates and, whoever else, they'll all be oligarchs in this country, and they already are. But yeah, I don't think we should be paying any federal tax. That's where I started off with. I believe it, and fuck them, dude. I pay enough in taxes, dude. So
that's why I like when I hear Trump flirting with that, ending federal income. That shit'll never happen. Why would
it'll never pass, dude?
Yeah, it's a money faucet. It'll never pass. Why would they?
It's a great political speech, dude. It really is. It'll never stop, dude. It'll never stop, dude.
Right. No, like I said, why would you turn that faucet off? It makes no sense if you're benefiting from
Absolutely.
it. I wouldn't do it if I were up there benefiting like these politicians are. I mean, that just run the well dry makes zero fucking sense. So I don't know. Every time I start hearing him talk about that, I'm thinking that shit ain't going nowhere. That's kind of like, the term limit shit that they talk about. That ain't going nowhere either, because it doesn't benefit the people that are voting for it.
Nope,
so why would
not
they
at
vote
all,
for
brother.
it? So,
absolutely, 100%.
Anyway, all right, let's wrap it up. We've been yapping long enough. It's late. We appreciate all of y'all. If you hadn't subscribed yet, hit that button. We'll be back Wednesday. Should have a little guest on with us, the guy that runs the Louisiana Cajun Navy. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's a great organization, but he's dealing with some of those tornadoes that hit Illinois a week ago. And he's going to come on here and talk to us just to see what they got going on. So anyway, until next time, y'all be good. Boys, tell them bye.
God bless America.